The Tet Offensive was raging, and Vietnam was a cauldron of chaos. Amidst the smoke, gunfire, and screams, one man stood where no one else dared. Ronnie Hooper, a name that should evoke awe but often draws blank stares. On February 21st, 1968, in the crucible of battle, he redefined the word hero. Yet today, his name is a whisper in the annals of military history. This is his story, one of unimaginable courage, deep flaws, and a legacy that demands remembrance. A boy from nowhere. Ronnie Hooper wasn't destined for greatness, at least not at first glance. Born in Piedmont, South Carolina, and raised in the modest town of Moses Lake, Washington, his life began like that of countless other boys, a patchwork of scrappy determination and restless energy. But under the surface, a spark was waiting to ignite. That spark flared when, at 17, he joined the Navy. The rigid structure suited him, yet something felt off. When his enlistment ended, civilian life didn't satisfy his thirst for purpose. In 1960, he made a fateful decision. He joined the Army, and there, his story truly began. The soldier finds his calling. Hooper quickly made a name for himself. Joining the prestigious 82nd Airborne Division, he proved not only capable, but exceptional. Leadership seemed second nature, and his thirst for action grew insatiable. By the mid-1960s, his path led him to Vietnam, a place that would etch his name in history and test every fiber of his being. Hue, the Day of Reckoning, February 21st, 1968. The Battle of Hue, one of the fiercest engagements of the Tet Offensive. The air was thick with death as American forces faced a dug-in, relentless enemy. On this day, Hooper became more than a man. He became a legend. Pinned down by a storm of enemy fire, Hooper didn't hesitate. He charged, a one-man hurricane of destruction, across an open stream under relentless gunfire, rallying his men to follow. What followed defies belief. He stormed 3 enemy bunkers alone, annihilating them with grenades and rifle fire. He rescued wounded comrades, ignoring his own injuries, refusing evacuation. He bayoneted a North Vietnamese officer in hand-to-hand combat. He charged into a house filled with enemy soldiers, emerging victorious and alone. In one of the most astonishing feats of the war, he cleared a trench of 4 bunkers, 1 grenade at a time. When the smoke cleared, Hooper had killed 22 enemy soldiers that day. Wounded multiple times, he stayed on the battlefield, leading his men until the fight was won. For his actions, he would be awarded the Medal of Honor, a legacy in medals and scars. Hooper's Medal of Honor was just one piece of an awe-inspiring tally of decorations: 2 silver stars, 6 bronze stars, 8 Purple Hearts, and 115 confirmed kills. Few soldiers in American history could rival his record, but those medals came at a price. Combat had forged him into an unstoppable force, but it left him fractured. Back at base, he often clashed with authority, his battlefield instincts clashing with peacetime regulations. Hooper wasn't made for barracks, he was made for war. The struggle after glory. After 3 tours in Vietnam, Hooper's time in the Army ended in 1974, but the war never left him. Like so many Vietnam veterans, he struggled with the demons of combat and the haunting disconnect between his battlefield valor and a society eager to forget the war. Alcohol became his solace, and his remarkable story faded into obscurity. A forgotten hero, Ronnie Hooper died on May 6, 1979, at just 40 years old. His cause of death, a cerebral hemorrhage. His passing was quiet, much like his life after the war. No parades, no grand remembrance. A hero faded into the shadows of history. Why we must remember. Hooper's story is not just about the medals or the body count. It's about the paradox of heroism, a man capable of incredible sacrifice and bravery, yet deeply human and flawed. It's about a war that divided a nation but produced soldiers whose courage cannot be ignored. Ronnie Hooper didn't fight for glory. He fought for the men beside him, for survival, and for a cause he couldn't always articulate. And that is why his story matters, because it's the story of so many who went to war and came home different if they came home at all. Honor the forgotten. We owe it to Hooper and to every soldier who has given more than most can fathom to remember. not just for their deeds, but for the humanity behind them. Joe Ronnie Hooper was a man, not a myth. A man whose story demands to be told, whose name deserves to be known. And now you know.